there is an amendment by MSA Malta. Yes?
Hi, it's Rebecca from MSA Malta speaking. So I noticed on pages 30, 31, and 32, in the procedural motion proposed by FMSA Brazil and I don't know how to pronounce it, Colombia. Basically, it says that Linda is enrolled to any universe when it's meant to be university. And this mistake was repeated 3 times, pages 30, 31, and 32. So we could amend those, please.
Okay, so as we showed earlier, the only amendments that the NMOs can make towards reports is towards the motion itself. The rest have to be made by the authors. However, I'm certain CCC was listening. So CCC, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, Paulina from the CCC, I wanted to say that unfortunately they cannot amend our report, but we are happy to propose the amendment ourselves.
So do you have an amendment, CCC?
Yes, we have an amendment on page 30, 31, and 32, if I understand correctly, to replace universe by university.
Thirty, 31, 32. We'll correct the minutes afterwards to make sure this is correct. But as I said, this adoption of this would lead to adoption of the first version that was shared on the server. So do we have any further amendments? There are 2 versions on the server. As the one in charge of the minutes, I'm telling you that with the adoption of this report, I will take the first version that's on the server, which would be incorrect, as you would like to have a different one, I think. CCC?
Yes, we'll do an alternative motion because it's a lot of changes. It's a couple of things. So an alternative motion, so we can table the final version that was shared in the server. We won't do an amendment.
Or because your report can be distributed 1 minute before you're voting, you can simply amend the motion to say the latest version sent on the server.
You can also do that, whatever best suits the chair, so we can get finished with the plenary.
As one requires voting, the other one doesn't. I would suggest you go with the amending the motion.
Yep.
Do we have any amendments?
Yes, Nebo, you can amend it to the final version that was shared in the NMO server at, let me tell you the hour as well. It's 1:55 a.m. GMT +2. I don't know what time it is in Ecuador, unfortunately.
Should be 17. It should be 1916.
Perfect. Thank you, Sonia.
$19.16.
Yeah.
Ecuador time.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the proposer accept the amendment? FMSA B? Yes.
Yes, we do accept the amendment.
Does the seconder accept?
Nebo, before you proceed, the current time is 1916. The final version was shared at 18:55.
Thank you. Does the seconder accept the amendment?
Yes.
Thank you. Do we have a direct negative, or do we have other amendments first? No. Do we have a direct negative? No. Therefore, motion passes nemo contra. Moving on to the adjournment, but before that, we're opening a final speakers list. After this, there can be no more speakers lists. IFMSA TEO, and then I think it was VPA. I had a EBL elect one, IFMSA NL, then in Brazil. I think then I miss on that side.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else? So this is the final speakers list. I'll put chairperson. Okay. IFMSNL, and I.
Laura Delvaux, IFMSA Sheet A. Dearest everyone, I would like to extend my gratitude to everyone who made this GA possible. To the OC, who went above and beyond to organize this GA as safe as possible. The work and the hours you have put in is incredible. And it can't have been easy to organize this GA with everything going on. People like you make IFMSA the beautiful federation that it is. For the EBTO, who managed to organize this GA in record time, you're amazing. These last 2 months cannot have been easy. I want you to know that your work and your commitment to IFMSA and the NMOs is so appreciated. Everything you've done for us. And I cannot thank all of you who are present here enough. To everyone who helped on the ground, from the sessions team to those who informally helped, thank you. You are what made this GA the fun event that it was. The work that you have done with so little time is incredible, and I cannot imagine how stressful parts of it must have been. My delegates have been so happy with all of the sessions, an opinion I know many other participants have share. It's thanks to all of your hard work that they've been able to enjoy themselves, and for some have had an amazing first GA. To our PT and CCC, we may not always have agreed on everything, but your efforts to make this GA possible are so appreciated. Chairing, vice chairing, or being a CCC online can be incredibly difficult. And your dedication and willful destruction of any form of sleep schedule, while very much appreciated to allow this plenary and president session to happen, is admirable. I don't know if I could have done the same. I would like to thank all of you for your efforts, your dedication to the highest governing body of IFMSA. Know that all of your efforts are appreciated. I would like to thank all of the NMOs and their delegates. This GA was far from usual, but your participation in sessions, in plenary, and in between sessions, to be able to talk to all of you has truly been my biggest pleasure this GA. Lastly, I would like to address the unrest during this GA. Everybody who is present here is present here because they care about IFMSA. And admittedly, we sometimes care a little too much, me being no exception to this. It is important to recognize that our words and actions can hurt others, even though these words come from a place of caring. I would like to call on everyone to leave any grievances at the door. In the end, we only want what is best for a beautiful federation that we're all a part of. Thank you, everyone, for making this GA possible and for making it the amazing experience that it was.
Can you hear me? Okay. A statement on the ongoing xenophobia faced by the Global South. This statement is on behalf of the NEM Brazil, Brazil, IFMSA Peru, IFMSA Chile, AMEF Mexico, IMP Ecuador, IFMSA Panama, ASCOM Colombia, IM Haiti, IFMSA Guatemala, ODEM Dominican Republic, ASEM Costa Rica, IFMSA El Salvador, with the support of IX Catalunya, IFMSA Quebec, PAMSA Palestine, IFMSA Spain, PAMSA Croatia, and in Portugal, PAMSA Finland, IFMSA Serbia, Slovenia, IFMSA Morocco, AMSA Austria. Dear IFMSA family, dear animals, dear EBTO. This is a statement written by the American animals, but with points that also concern other animals from the Global South. Since the beginning of the year, we've been facing several struggles when it comes to making this GA happen. And this issue was shared multiple times by our members. It's no news to anyone who has ever been part of IFMSA that the regions face multiple barriers and differences regarding their cultures, religions, political views, and more. Although we discuss those differences, it's been a constant disappointment for all of our region, especially Latin America, to see hidden xenophobia, and sometimes not hidden at all, behind some of the comments made and how the whole March meeting situation was dealt with. First, lack of representation. Making this MM24 here in Quito has been a difficult journey and has required a lot of energy, blood, and tears from the hosting animal, but also for all Global South animals as a supporting community to be able to celebrate our region and showcase it to the rest of the world. Nevertheless, the situation with representation was questioned when the political state of Ecuador, even though the animal's opinion was to proceed with the March meeting in person and avoid cancellation at all costs. Concerns about reaching quorum were raised for MM when the discussion of possible cancellations was opened. We would like to remind you of the actual structure and membership system of our federation and the barriers that many animals have faced, special financial barriers, to be able to maintain their status, their voting rights, and the ability to attend and represent their members in the General Assemblies. We have always faced a lack of representation when it comes to American animals. Most of IFMSA events are held in Europe, and even when they are not, our continent is too far from the other regions, or even our own region. We still have lower representation compared to other regions. Our countries suffer for lots of different crises, and we usually use currencies that aren't close to euros or dollars, often making it difficult for us to go to other countries or hard to follow hybrid and online discussions because of the time zones. We know that these difficult situations are not something that IFMSA can control, but we feel like suddenly the concern with time zones and delegations not being able to attend the event is now being raised, while this has been a struggle for us for years now. The majority of candidatures sent to the Federation are from Europe, which makes sense since we have more European animals. We still have lots of candidates from the Americas, Africa, EMR, and Asia. But even though our animals are really active, the fact that European animals have more possibilities of engaging with external and internal opportunities leave them in a better position when candidating, even if they have the same capabilities as the rest of the candidates. In no way this is a comment to the candidates, but it's a reality that we are living from GA to GA and needs to be highlighted as a contest to be able to understand the rest of the points and also to be aware of the reality, even if you weren't before. Acts of xenophobia, Macedonia, New Delhi, and Quito. During the GA in Macedonia, a Latin American flag was snatched from its owner and thrown to the floor, mentioning that that was the place for a Latino flag before being trampled. All of our flags are the most meaningful representation from our countries. They are symbols that try to transmit a series of values with the aim of creating identities. Therefore, it's not surprising that in the same region, with similar historical and cultural characteristics, equally similar symbols arise. This wasn't the first act of xenophobia inside of FMSA space, and sadly, not the last, even after our animals made a statement about this situation. How is it possible that even after many months, we still have to make another statement about the same issue? Is the FMSA community really listening to us? Are we really representing our communities and standing by the equity, diversity, and inclusion ideals that the Federation preaches about in every GA? Once again, in New Delhi, we heard unfortunate comment on us, Latinos, most specifically Latinas. Not once, the NEMS delegation heard comments on our bodies, insinuating Brazilians as hot, or a way to have casual relations with. Male delegates from other animals commented on how excited they were to say that they spent the nights with Brazilian women, and other comments that are often made. The sexualization of women's body has been a perpetualized problematic in this federation and cannot be overseen anymore. If we stand by EDI, gender equity, or SRHR during our sessions and activities, it should be also respected during socials and all spaces in GA. We usually see xenophobia as explicit acts, such as what happened in Macedonia. But xenophobia is also hidden inside comments often seen as innocent by others, especially the ones that don't suffer from it. In Quito, the concerns on safety were overly exaggerated by delegates from other continents. More than once, we've heard comments on how dangerous Latin America can be, even if they were safe enough to walk around the city and etc. We know our cities can be more dangerous than European ones. We also know that the mainstream media only shows our conflicts and crises abroad. But some cities in other regions have prohibited spaces known as dangerous, and so do we. The problem is related to when culture shocks comes alive. When something is related to Latin America, it seems like it's not important for IFMSA in comparison to the Europe or Global North. The perception often exists that Latin America holds less weight compared to those in the Global North. Media bias prioritizes events closer to home and shaping public awareness, and also criminalizes and hyperbolizes the current events happening in the Global South, deeming these as not safe, dangerous, and highly unstable countries, which is not even close to the reality that the people and the animal members from this country are living or experiencing. Historically, the narrative about North's struggles feels more relatable and consequential. Latin America's issues have been seen from a long time as symptoms of overdevelopment, neglecting social and political roots. 4 point. Economic limitations when applying memberships or GA payments. As many know, Latin American countries are different from one another, and it shows through their culture, beliefs, politics, language, and economic status. Because of this, Latin American animals' dynamics and capacities vary and due to the past difficulties that some Latin American animals have faced in processing memberships, GA payments, and with the overall finances. It would be great to acknowledge at least the economical political factor when addressing the financial aspect of Latin America. We consider this important because not many of our animals receive fundings from their universities or their governments, or receive any funding for that matter at all, which just limits them and their own budget when applying for all the FMSA privileges. These past days, one of the main topics of conversation was the possibility of raising the fees for the August meeting. We acknowledge the difficulties and the financial burden that is hosting a GA, and even believe that the fees are not sufficient to cover the cost of planning for a good and efficient event. Nonetheless, we reiterate the point of raising alternative fundings through sponsorships or the IFMSA budget. Many Latin American animals already have difficulty paying for the fees as they actually are, and raising those may result in even less regional representation and less member engagement. Thus, perpetuating the main idea stated in the previous point, we are being underrepresented and disrespected, and if we don't take action and responsibility, the future of the Federation should be questioned. Addressing actions in the EDI. Equity, diversity, and inclusivity is a permanent topic in our events, but even knowing the importance of that matter, this is not sufficient. And it's not sufficient because our own behaviors are wrong. We need to change our point of view. We need to respect each other and be open to different realities. All of these contexts show us the necessity of taking action, not only to prevent xenophobia when it comes to the global South countries, but when it also comes to other situations. We are an international community with lots of culture, realities. This needs to be respected. It's important to highlight that we are not here to address the blame to someone, but to make you think about our crucial role in this whole matter. Not only Global South counts on you, but in this specific case, we need your special attention. We call all the animals to capacitate their members and delegations regarding this matter, to develop policies to related topic, to take actions to prevent episodes of xenophobia, such as the one mentioned, to monitorize the development of the previous action. In conclusion, we aren't asking to be seen as victims and fragile. We're asking for fair opportunities. We have to look for the ability of the people, not their nationality. Viva América Latina!
Miss Algeria, you're next.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, hello everyone. This is Darine, IFMSA Algeria speaking. This statement is on behalf of IFMSA Algeria, LMSIC Lebanon, IFMSA Kurdistan, IFMSA Iraq, PANSA Palestine, IMSA Iran, IFMSA Egypt, MEDSCO Oman, LMSA Libya. Please raise your voting card or your virtual hand if you agree with this statement. Dear animals, as we draw the curtains on yet another successful General Assembly, it is imperative to pause and extend our heartfelt gratitude to the ones who tirelessly worked behind the scenes to ensure its smooth execution. Our team of officials and executive board, who have displayed unparalleled dedication, perseverance, and steadfast commitment throughout this journey. And it is with great admiration that we acknowledge their invaluable efforts. In the wake of all challenges, convening a General Assembly in 3 weeks and making sure it includes everyone, whether in person or virtually, demands extraordinary efforts and adaptability. While many of us engaged from the comfort of our homes, most of us only had to worry about delivering some sessions or attending assemblies, attending sessions, or plenaries, and follow up with our animals. And this required us to stay awake for almost 24 hours. It is imperative, thus, to recognize that our TO and EB members barely knew the luxury of a decent resting hour or one night's sleep. Their sacrifices, often overlooked, deserve a second to admire and absolutely deserve our utmost respect and appreciation. It is important to recognize that the path to this March meeting was paved with countless uncertainties. However, our TO and EB approached every challenge with resilience, leaving no stone unturned to ensure the event's success. From navigating the complexities of hybrid logistics to meticulously planning every detail. Their efforts were nothing short of commendable. Amidst the digital realm, they worked diligently to foster a sense of inclusivity, ensuring that every participant felt valued and heard. Despite the inevitable imperfections that may have colored some plenaries, the dedication to inclusivity remains still. In a world where connectivity often breeds disconnection, our officials endeavor to bridge the virtual gap. It is easy to critique from the sidelines, yet let us not forget the immense challenges our officials navigated to bring this General Assembly to fruition. There is a labor of passion and respect to the Federation, fueled by a deep-seated commitment to our collective vision and mission. As we express our gratitude, let us also commit to honoring their efforts beyond mere words. Let us actually carry forward the spirit of respect and appreciation, recognizing that it is through collective action and support that we can truly thrive. Last but not least, we would like to extend our appreciation to the OC that allowed us to meet again, whether online or in person, providing all possible help and support, facing all the known hardships. In closing, let us all together extend a resounding round of applause to our team of officials and executive board for their unparalleled dedication and boundless passion. May their tireless efforts serve as an inspiration to all of us and continue to chart the course ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, FMS Algeria. FMS Theo.
Yes, thank you. Dear NMOs, plenaries constitute a crucial decision-making space in our federation. As we head to the closing of the March meeting 2024, I would like to use this opportunity to profoundly thank the plenary team for their enduring motivation and support to stay on board with us and carry out the 5 plenaries from start to finish. It is important to mention that both Nebosha and Sania applied for a different GA, an in-person one. Yet when circumstances made it impossible for them to join us, instead of resigning, we still decided to devote 1 week of their alumni life to deliver our plenaries. Having both the chairperson and the vice chairperson online has indeed been a challenge. With only weeks before the GA, we had been left with many less than perfect options, and out of those, the best one was chosen. One that ensured that 2 former VPAs with extensive knowledge of plenary procedures would support us in what has been everything but an ordinary GA. Equally, I would like to thank all our wonderful secretaries, Sarah Nasser, CCC members, secretary assistants, and returning officers for their incredible efforts during the past week, especially to those who joined us from their delegations, at times jumping straight from standing committee sessions to work here with us in person or online. Apart from the plenary team, I would like to thank the EB, Zoe Farrow, Camilla Hall, Eileen Cook, and others who helped us uphold the hybrid modality. Your efforts, at times exceeding the role you were supposed to play at this event, is the sole reason why we, despite multiple challenges, made it to the end in a timely manner. A few weeks ago, this GA was set to be cancelled, yet everyone's effort carried some of us to Quito and let us join this wonderful event. Even if some procedures took more time than necessary, please keep in mind the health burden that many members of the plenary team, IFMC officials, and NMO delegates took by staying away all night, if their time zone necessitated that, and the impact it had on everyone's alertness and vitality. In the end, thanks to everyone's diligence, experience, and knowledge, we can finalize this GA knowing that the value of the democratic process in IFMSA was upheld. Thank you, and see you in AM24. IFMC VPA on behalf of the Executive Board.
Thank you, FMC Theo. I think now it's VPA.
Yeah. Yes, it was on behalf of IFMC EB. Sorry, that was a mistake.
Okay. VPA.
All right, let me continue. Dear NMOs, if you are in support of this statement, please raise your voting card or a virtual Zoom hand. In my statement today, I would like to tell a story of 3 weeks of the life of an individual who simply wants to devote 1 year of their life to a cause they strongly believe in, and the mental health impact that is associated with putting oneself in an IFMSA election, and the false information that may subsequently spread about you if you dare to seek office in our federation. A few days ago, some members of the Eastern Mediterranean region were contacted with false information suggesting that I sympathize with the government of Israel based on the fact that I visited this country as a part of an IFMC delegation in 2022. This particular drivel is truly disgusting as it builds a character assassination attempt on a real-life tragedy of hundreds of thousands of people in the context of the ongoing war in Gaza. Recently, multiple people were reached out to by an individual I worked on a project with earlier this term. Some people heard the story of me overstepping the leadership and not understanding the limitations of my role, while others were told that I had not been performing my tasks at all. Please mind that it was the same person saying both these things. After I confided in someone that I was very hesitant about applying for another EB term, that information was spread and portrayed as Miko cares only about his election and nothing else. Then, it was suggested that I do not support a candidate for another EB position despite having worked with them in great spirits for a long time, again, to create animosity. Lastly, it was suggested to GA participants, both in person and online, mostly the latter, that I am not attending social programs because in fact I dislike anything connected with the IFMC community, and I traveled here just for the election. Clearly, they have not taken into account my love for my IT that, however decimated, is present here, and the health impact of plenaries and other responsibilities tied to my position, which necessitate one thing, sleep, of which I have not had that much. Everyone who knows me is well aware that I often skip socials to remain in good health the day after. These are just some of the concerning messages and rumors that reached me in the recent weeks. All of those are unprecedented in my life and have been temporarily tied to the period of my candidature for an IFMC EB position. I would like to call everyone to reflect upon the behavior associated with IFMC elections to protect the collective mental health of those who want to contribute to IFMC's future. There are many of us today who did not win their elections. In real life, it's not that scary, believe me. I still have strength to continue working for this community, but many might not and will not. If these behaviors continue, we will lose many skilled leaders even before the February 1st and July 1st deadlines. Let us stop misinformation and disinformation and focus only on the merits of candidatures. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the statement. So we have EB elect, but wait, I removed the pin. EB elect, you can go.
Can we see if the other members of the EB elect are in the Zoom so we can also spotlight them? Okay, in the meantime, well. Dear NMOs, we are very honored to have been elected as the IFMC Executive Board for the term 2024-2025. The trust you have placed in us to lead our federation is an honor we deeply appreciate, and we extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every national member organization. As we start this exciting journey, we do so with the firm belief that your collaboration and support will serve as foundation of our success. We urge our members to consider joining us in shaping the future of our federation, whether it's around leadership roles in the team of officials, international teams, or program coordinators, but also sharing their important opinion and feedback during the entire term. Engaging discussions and thoughtful reflections within the GA had not only energized us, but also motivated us to pursue strategic solutions aligned with our common vision. Your passion and dedication not only inspired us to challenge limits, but also achieve our dreams. With gratitude in our hearts and a sense of our accountability in our minds, we embrace the responsibilities that come with our new roles. The anticipation of guiding our federation towards a brighter future fills us with excitement and hope. For the March meeting 2024 organizing committee, the team of officials, the plenary team, international team, and sessions team, your tireless dedication in bringing this GA to reality is nothing but inspiring. Your hard work and dedication are reflected in every aspect of this event, including the resilient solutions you provided, the challenges you overcame, and the spaces you have created in the middle of the world for us, physical and online attendees. As we close this chapter and open up the next, we look forward to coming together once again, this time in Finland, to continue our journey of growth, collaboration, and positive change. We are excited to see the passion of August Meeting 24 OC And we extend our sincere gratitude for their tireless efforts and wish them best of luck with their preparations. Until we meet again in Finland, let's keep making change, thinking globally and antic locally. Best regards, Angelo, Grace, Hannah, Jeff, Melike, Lucia, Tash, Reeve, your EV elect.
Thank you, everyone, for your statements and overall for your participation throughout this General Assembly meeting. I wish I was there also with you, as most of the delegates that are currently attending online with us. Congrats to the OC for organizing the General Assembly meeting in the end and the TO for successfully completing this. Just wanted to address you at the end as a chairperson and speak about, let's maybe say, the challenges of organizing hybrid meetings. So this is my 15th GA, and Sani and I were the ones creating most of the procedures that you're working with right now for the online General Assembly meetings. And at the time, these procedures were created only for the online attendees, but not for hybrid mixture of in-person and online. And throughout the years afterwards, IFMSA has often tried to have a mix of both, but always a focus on one, which would be the in-person one. And to be honest, I believe this was one of the first ones where maybe the second closest, because Panama might have been the closest one so far, second closest where the focus was on both the in-person and the online participation, which was also something that was announced in the official decision to hosting this General Assembly meeting, because also the sessions during the day are for the in-person and online delegates, which poses its own challenges and complications. As you know, as humans, we have a lot of senses, and being deprived of all of those sensory stimulants really makes things complicated. It's not the same when you have someone there in person. It's not the same to approach someone on WhatsApp, Telegram, as it is to walk up to them while they're going for a coffee break, walking away from you, and so on. So it's important when coordinating the meeting to understand these complications and that it's very different perspectives being there in person, being online across the globe, being on in one region, the other region, being up at 7 in the morning, being up at 2 in the morning, and so on. A lot of patience is required from all sides. So I want to thank you all for that. And as you probably noticed, my understanding and style in chairing General Assembly meetings is that we have to provide a space that is without ego, without that hierarchy approach in a sense. Although we do have a moderator, it is everybody's space, and some of the rules that we have are rather limiting that space. And I think you also identify them as well as I did, and that's why I try to provide you with the space to always have a chance to ask about the procedures, how they're going, what they're supposed to, how should we handle certain things, and ask for your inputs throughout the way. And throughout this last 5 days, done my best to work with the plenary team and make our adjustments on the fly. And thank you all for your suggestions and inputs in that period. I think now that you've had both experiences, people there in person and people online, it will be very helpful for you to respond to the evaluation questions that when you go back home, and help the TO evaluate how this event went and provide the new plenary team information on how to adjust better for the circumstances. I want to thank the rest of my plenary team, Sania, who stayed up all the time with me, and last night, well, this morning actually, we were up 7 my time and hers, I guess that's 2, 3 in the morning, completely exhausted from all the plenary work, and just went to bed because what took me later on 50 minutes to sort out was taking us 30 minutes. So we just went to sleep. Same thing can be said for the CCC members who've done a lot of work. Some of them got appointed in the beginning, in the first call. Some of them got appointed later when the decision was already made about the General Assembly meeting, and they knew that they were getting into something. But trust me, it's completely different when you can interact with people there in person and help them in making the decisions. And also for you there in person to have audio and visual cues that something is happening, they're discussing something, and that there is a break basically happening. And the secretary team and the returning officers, thank you so much for assisting us with this. I'm sorry for the plenary team that it was not possible for all of us to be there in person, coordinate, meet each other, and provide each one of you all the instructions that they could have if we were there in person. But I hope this was a nice experience for everyone, all things considered, and that you were able to make the decisions that you wanted and felt that this place was as inclusive as IFMSA preaches it to be. And best of luck in the next GAs and all the work that you're doing. Thank you for choosing me for a chairperson.
To add to Nebojsa's thing, I would just like to add one small thing. One thing that we learned from this GA is please go back to your NMOs, inspire, and share with everyone to apply for plenary team and all the other committees that are required for August meeting 2024 and March meeting 2025, so that plenary teams in future are able to prepare in advance. Yeah. Sharing the love for plenaries as always. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to proceed to the final agenda point of this General Assembly meeting. Yes, we have a hand raised by Extended Code of Conduct Committee. Yep. I mean, probably would have been better earlier, but it's okay. You can have the floor.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. This is Ragda from the ECOCC. We just have a mini statement, so I hope that you all stay and keep attention. Okay, as we approach the conclusion of the plenary sessions, the COCC and the ECOCC would like to take this opportunity to remind all participants of the importance of upholding a professional and respectful environment during these critical discussions. We acknowledge that the plenary sessions can be protected and potentially demanding. However, to ensure optimal participation and focus of all attendees, the consumption of alcohol beverages during these sessions is strictly prohibited. We kindly request your adherence to this established policy of our federation. Furthermore, to foster an inclusive atmosphere for productive discourse, the ECOCC respectfully reminds all delegates attending in-person session to conduct themselves in a manner that reflects the high standards of professionalism expected within our esteemed federation. This conduct aligns seamlessly with the core values and principles upon which our organization is built. The ECOCC encourages all delegates to continue demonstrating the spirit of respect and collaboration that has characterized the General Assembly thus far. We kindly request that you remain mindful of one another in the professional setting we share. Should you observe any conduct that disturbs this respectful environment, please do not hesitate to bring such matters immediately to the attention of ECOCC. The ECCOC remains committed to ensuring a productive and positive experience for all participants. Thank you for your continued cooperation. Sincerely, on behalf of the ECCOC. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Okay, we have for the adjournment of the meeting a procedural motion. Before that, I want to announce that after we adjourn the meeting, I had a request for funny motions, which you can take from the floor, but that will be an informal part of the meeting, which will not be recorded. And anyone that wants to leave and do other stuff, they can. But if you want to stay for a bit, you can. So the procedural motion number 9 to adjourn the 73rd General Assembly March meeting 2024, tabled by IFMSA EB. Explain. IFMSA EB.
No, we would not like to explain.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder for this motion? I'm looking for a particular flag. The one where you're gonna go to next, probably. This is, I sometimes we forget this kind of thing. So, Pimsik, Finland. So, as a last point, we have to vote on this. It's a procedural motion. Sanya?
Yes. Okay, just give me a minute. No more do I ask for the serial number of the motions.
Yeah, number 9 now.
Please log into the Limo vote for the last time. The vote should be open now.
We have 43 votes. We're gonna close it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In favor, we have 39 votes. Against, we have 5 votes. NMOs abstaining is 1. Total number of NMOs voting is 45. The motion passes with a 2/3 majority.
Therefore, this meeting is adjourned. Okay, so for the funny motions, if you still want to do those, CCC, having an idea?
This is Pauline Schieher from IFMSA Maastricht speaking, and we have a funny motion we would like to propose for to move the IFMSA Secretariat to Maastricht in the Netherlands, also formerly known as Maastricht, with 2 O's.
How do you spell it? Do-
No, it's Maastricht. Wait, I have also. I'll send it in the chat.
Yes, that would be the best. You said O's, not A's.
No, it's